So we have the author of Dare to Lead Like a Girl, Dalia. I'm assuming you're in Israel.
I am. I'm actually late at night. Julia, it's such a pleasure to be here. And yes, I think we're totally aligned, and I have so many questions. But my key one, I mean, my book is about very similar topics, as mentioned earlier, in the sense that, you know, I've spent 21 years in the corporate world. I've seen the advantages of the female leadership traits. I did spend 3 years with a toxic boss, and I wanted to ask you what you saw working in order to convert, making sure that we're not speaking to the converted, but actually what works for those GE style top-down leadership, you know, to convert them.
I think it's greed. I think it's greed. And I mean, I always think at CNBC, I have very much tried to change the conversation about diversity from being like a philanthropic nice thing to do. If companies are treating like their DEI groups or pay equity projects as like a nice thing to do for their employees, like a corporate perk, then they are losing the thread. The reality is that investing in diversity, having more women in leadership is not a nice thing to do for your employees. It is the best thing to do financially for the corporation. And I think the more we can get this wealth of data out there about the financial benefits of diversity, the more that bosses are going to think, this is not about me being nice. This is about me being greedy. And if you want to be successful, you need to have more women and people of color represented in leadership positions. And so I think it's about switching the conversation. So that's why when I do my Closing the Gap stories at CNBC, I'm not talking about like philanthropy, right? I'm talking about this
ROI.
ROI. And I think it is incredibly frustrating to me to see that, you know, I have 40 pages of endnotes in here and that's why I really want to have the endnotes published in the book, to really indicate that this is not a lightweight endeavor and that companies need to be thinking differently about the advantages of having different kinds of leadership.
Oh, we're totally aligned. I look forward to connecting.
I can't wait to connect with you.
Thank you.
It's so powerful because it is true. Diversity is, you know, kind of framed as this kumbaya type of thing, as opposed to, you know, what really is going to drive bottom line results.
And by the way, kumbaya is like everything's nice and happy, but diversity can be tough. And that's one of the reasons
100%.
I like these studies is that people get smarter from diversity, but it doesn't always feel good. It feels hard. And that hardness and that challenge is what makes people smarter and come up with better ideas.
I just have to say, my toxic boss used to call me Miss Kumbaya because I was too positive. And we know from research that being positive is good for business. So I'm totally with you.
Yeah.